Hello, everyone. My name is Eva. I don't have first slide about myself, so I'm going to tell a few facts about me. Not fun fact, but facts. So I love sports. I was playing volleyball for 10 years. Nowadays I'm playing padel or volleyball, but it's just with friends. It's chill vibe. I also love traveling. That's my biggest passion, as Claudia already said. And I have amazing friends who came here to support me. They're all my travel buddies. Please one clap for them. They deserve it. And that's all about me. Now I'm going to go to the topic. So today I'm going to talk about Teaful library. As their documentation says, it's tiny, easy, and powerful React state management library. I don't know if anyone maybe used it before, heard about it. No, okay, so that's something new, that's good. So first, to show you what I will cover in this presentation. So first I'm going to introduce you to React, then we will talk about the benefits of Teaful, Then I'm going to talk about Redux and Teaful and how to manage the store, how to modify the store. At the end, we will talk why I think we should use it. And at the end of the presentation, we will have a short demo to show you how it works. Okay, introduction. So Teaful was introduced in 2021. First, it was called Fragmented Store. Then it got renamed to Frag Store. And at the end, they called it Teaful. This is their logo. Teaful is tiny. It's less than 1 kilobyte, so it will make your project much more lightweight. That's one good thing about Teaful. Teaful's goal is to be very easy to use and customize, and you will not have to write as much code as you write in some other React state management libraries. It's also very powerful, and you avoid many unnecessary re-renders, while the performance of your website gets better. Some benefits of Teaful is that it's more maintainable, because you don't have to write a lot to do a simple thing. Either you don't have to write a lot to do a complex thing. So if you use it also in large projects, they will be more maintainable and they won't grow in code. Also, one plus is if your project becomes complex, you can also switch to some other Redux or anything with only small changes in code, because Teaful is really few lines of code. It's really easy to change it. You're also able to consume and update non-existent store properties and define them on fly. So you can first create an initial store without anything, and later you can add as much properties as you want. It also works with nested properties. You can manipulate any property whenever it's in the store. Also, you can have multiple stores. You don't have to, but you can choose. And then you can rename the hooks with more personalized names. You're also able to use customized updaters. So if you want several components to use the same updaters without re-implementing them, you can predefine them with the get store helper. There is also an after update function to make an optimistic update. So when you update the store and save the value by calling the API, if the request fails, it gets reverted to the previous value. Okay, now we will talk about Redux. I choose to compare it with Redux because I think a lot of you heard about it or used it, you know about Redux. So this is how Redux code looks like. It's just a counter, nothing special here. But you need to, of course, first install it. Then you need to have a reducer function. You have actions. You need to create a store. And then you need to connect component to the store. And you can see on the right side how the code looks like. And now I'm going to show you the same thing made in Teaful to see how less code you have. So this is the same thing. I think it's visible right away that this is much more simple. So with Teaful, it's the same thing. You need to install it, then you're creating the store. And you only have to create the store, and then you can subscribe to store and change whatever you want in the store. So there is no selectors, reducers, providers. It's very simple. Each store has to be created with create store function. So this function returns all the methods that you can use to consume and update the store properties. How to manage the store in Teaful? So we have use store hook. It's recommended to use it, and it works as proxy hook to indicate exactly what portion of the store you want. So actually with this hook, we are subscribing to one part of the store. And this is the part I told you about before, unnecessary re-renders. So the components that are re-rendering the components that only that part of the store that you changed. So if you change, for example, here you change the price, not all the components will re-render, but only the components which have price inside of them. This is example how to create the store. So you can have an initial store, or you can have an empty one, and then later on define the properties. And on the right side, I'm showing you how to subscribe or change username or price. So here you can also see that it works with nested properties. So you can just change something. You can just change the price. You don't have to change everything. So you just subscribe to that part of the store. To modify the store using helpers, we have two things. So we have get store helper and set store helper. Get store, it works exactly like use store, but with some differences. So it does not make a subscription. It's no longer a hook, and you can use it as a helper whenever you want. It will not register events that are executed after a change. So for example, if you just want to take something from the store, you can use get store to take that value and work with that value. And set store helper is here to modify the store inside or outside our components. In this example, we are resetting the store count or name. Also very easy. So we are just taking the piece of the store we want to reset, and it just like a one-liner. You can see how easy it is to make it. Okay, you can also do it with high-order components. It's called with store. It's a wrapper of the use store for non-functional components. This is something I didn't use because we are using functional components now, but just for you to know that there is an option to use it with classes. Okay, at the end, to tell you a few words why I think you should use it and why I used it in the first place. So on my last project, we worked on video streaming platform, and we really needed it to be very lightweight. That's why we used Preact. I don't know if you used it. Preact is actually used to be for lightweight projects where performance needs to be perfect. And that's why we needed something like some library, state management library, which is also lightweight. And Teaful is that. It's very simple to work with it. It's very easy to learn it. I never heard about it before, and I need few hours to catch it up and to use it. It's used with React and Preact. It's the same package. That's also a good thing. I think the biggest plus here is that there is no re-rendering issues. So for example, if you have some junior in your team who actually doesn't know a lot about how re-rendering works in React, you are, let's say, more sure to give him to work with Teaful because he really don't need to take care of those things. Now I'm going to show you the demo. So this is just a simple counter. We have a Redux and Teaful card, so we can increase and decrease the count. Nothing special. I'm doing the same things with both. I'm just going to show you how does it look in code. Okay, just to show you in the code. So you can here see we have two folders, Redux and Teaful. In the Redux folder, we have actions, action types, and components where I have the card. And there is also reducer and store. In the Teaful, we have only component where is card and the store. This part where we have the card is almost the same, but we need with Redux we need to use dispatch function. The Teaful, that's not the case. We just subscribe to the store and use it down there. But I wanted to show you, you can see from the folders, with Teaful we have this. So here we are creating the store, and then we are using hooks and helpers to modify it later on. And with Redux, so we need to define actions. We have action types, and then we have reducer function. And inside of that, we need to define all of that for it to work. And afterwards, then we have store. So store files are actually almost the same, but here with Redux, we need to have action types, and reducer, which is also very simple now when it's just a counter. But when you have a lot of things with Redux, your reducer can become just more and more complex, and you can maybe get stuck with it. While with Teaful, it's really easy. So just subscribe to the items to your store and define, just change or modify, update, whatever you want to do with it. And that would be all from me. Thank you for listening.